Hi there, Jen Boren here with HAV Living, where our focus is on honest, authentic, and vulnerable living. And that can show up in a lot of different ways in our communication, in our relationships, in just in how we are with ourselves. And I think that that's where it really needs to start. So, anyway, welcome. I've already posted a couple of videos. Regarding this hair product because I was looking for something to work with aging hair, and I let my hair, I cut it all off. It was long and blonde, highlighted, had products, it was just a lot of damage, and I cut it very, very, very short and during the pandemic, and this is how it has grown out. And it's natural color. It hasn't had any color on it for the last 2.5 years. So I was looking for something to address that. So I talked about Hair Lab and talked about this new face primer that I purchased to try and cover up some of the, not really cover the wrinkles, but minimize the appearance of wrinkles because they are so prominent. So just to recap on that, it's the e.l.f. Poreless Face anyway, primer. I'm almost blind, I swear, without my glasses. So anyway, we're going to put those on so that I can see you all and make sure that I'm actually doing this properly. So I wanted to share with you, again, the premise of my website is honest, authentic, and vulnerable living. In being honest with myself and being vulnerable with a lot of different people during the pandemic, and more specifically a therapist, I was acknowledging that I had a lot of different things going on. I've suffered from depression for a lot of years. My mom says that she identified that when I was about 14 years old, and I think that it's really hard to know, is it depression at that age? Is it hormonal? Because I had horrible PMS, and that continued for years, where it was just really, really, really debilitating. There were days I couldn't even go to school, couldn't stand up. My moods were all over the map. I would cry. I was short-tempered. The bloating, oh my gosh, it was miserable. I gained, there were times 5 to 7 pounds in water weight during that week. I mean, it was hell for me. There's no other way to put that. It was hell. And it continued that way for a lot of years. And so it's hard to know. Was it depression? Was it hormonal? Was it what I understand now to be that and I am, but I'm an introvert. And I am a highly sensitive person, and I am an empath. So I've got the trifecta going on. And while that can all be well and good, and it definitely has its place in this world, we make great counselors, we make great listeners, we make great teachers. We do. There's a lot of things that we bring to the table, but it can be very hard because we are feeling and experiencing the world in a different way, and it is in its entirety all of the time. It's a constant amount of stimuli. From if I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'm listening to them and I hear what they're saying, and I'm trying to pay attention to that, and I find myself maybe interrupting because I'm afraid, this is where my ADD comes in, I am afraid that I am going to forget what it is that I want to say to what they are saying. And so I interject. And so if I've done that to you, I'm so sorry. It's going to continue to happen because I do forget things. And it's not just the forgetting, it's that things are bouncing around in my head. It's what they call monkey brain, and what I've referred to as ping pong balls bouncing around in my head for years. And it can be very, very annoying to have so many different things taking place. I'm paying attention to what you are wearing, to the way that your mouth is moving. Are your eyes shifting? What is your body language? What's going on around you? Oh, that tree. Oh, that's really pretty. Look at the way that the light's hitting that. Or look at those clouds. My head's in the clouds a lot. Literally, I am looking at them and just appreciating the way that the light is bouncing. It's it's just a lot. And if there's noises or if there's music, music is probably one of my biggest nemesis. That I hear the words and I'm singing them in my head while you're trying to talk to me, and I want so desperately to be able to focus on our conversation. But there's this really awesome song, and when you are a music fanatic like I am, like it courses through my veins on a perpetual basis. I love music. It soothes me. It makes me happy. It inspires me. It makes me feel. And words to music, I know them all. I've been referred to as a walking jukebox because I do. I know a lot of words. And you may say something, and I've got a song that comes to mind that is using the words that you just said. It can be really annoying, I'm sure, for the person on the other side. But because of that, and because of depression, be it hormonal, be it what have you, over the years, and with the ADD, I have been on this search to just find something that is going to help address that. We have tried antidepressants to the tune of like 8 or 9 different antidepressants for which to which I have adverse reactions, migraines, sensitivity. They give me a pediatric dose of medication and I have adverse reactions. So it's been very, very challenging to find something to address the depression. Be it, like I said, if it is hormonal, it's still depression. I'm still experiencing it and it's still problematic. And then with the ADD, I have a little bit of a heart issue. And so because of that, the medications that are designed to help, they've got speed essentially in them, amphetamines, and I can't do them. My heart races to such a degree that I feel like I'm literally coming undone. My scalp is crawling. I get super, super agitated. And I mean, I think it was Adderall. They gave me, or Vyvanse. No, it was Vyvanse. Well, the Adderall, let's go back to that. When they did that in 2014, after I was diagnosed with ADD, like clinically diagnosed with ADD, they gave me Adderall and I took it for 7 days, just trying to stay diligent with it. But guys, I'm telling you, it had me so jacked up. And when I was at work, I was shaking. It was so amped. And this was at the smallest dose that they could give me. In that 7 days, I'd lost 9 pounds. I didn't want to eat. I mean, I can understand where people are using it as a diet, whatever. No, that it's just bad news across the board. So couldn't do that. And then during the pandemic, I was acutely aware during a period of time where I was not working, that it was escalating again, the depression, the ADD, like it was just running rampant. And so we tried another antidepressant that didn't work. We tried another attention deficit medication, Vyvanse, and that first day I took it and I went to an interview and it was horrible. The whole time I am so acutely aware of the fact that my scalp, I felt like it was moving and that this man could literally see my scalp moving. I'd touch things and all of my nerves were just firing away. And I was so aware of that. It just had me freaked out. I was wondering if I was going to be able to drive home. Like I was amped up. And this is on the smallest pediatric dose of that. And I got home and all I could do is get to the couch, grab a pillow, and that's where I laid for 4 hours until that waned just a little bit. Like it was horrible. And so I went to my doctor. I had to go in for my annual exam. And as I was talking to the PA, she said, you know, Jen, with the problems that you have with medication, and let me add one more in here, an issue, I have what they call sphincter ovodi dysfunction, SOD. That happened after they removed my gallbladder back in 1995. So about 6 months after that was removed, I started to experience issues. and the pain in this upper right quadrant, right under my right rib cage, gets so extreme. It makes me sweat profusely. I feel like I'm literally dying. I have blacked out. The pain, and sometimes it'll go for 45 minutes to an hour. It is so bad. It is literally seized up. So whatever has offended your liver and your pancreas has tried to go through the sphincter of Oddi that would have dumped in the gallbladder, but it's not there. So it goes, I don't know what to do with it. And it starts shooting it back to the liver and pancreas, and those levels escalate. And the pain is unbelievable. I've only talked to a couple of other people that have had their gallbladder removed that experience that same situation. It's horrible. So just a little side note, if you're listening and you followed me this far through my ADD, keep bottled water, 2 bottles of water by your bedside, because it usually will hit in the middle of the night. At least the people that I've spoken with, and for myself, it has done that. Anyway, take one of those bottles of water, room temperature, and just guzzle it. And you get down to about this far, about the bottom of the label, where you have to take that deep breath. Take that deep breath. That expands everything, and then finish it off. Lay on your right side, and it helps to flush it through. About 8 times out of 10 that works. If it's a really bad offender, and I can address this in another post about the sphincter of Oddi dysfunction, then I can kind of pinpoint some of the things that I've encountered. So if you do have your gallbladder removed and start to experience some of these things, at least it's heads up, right? So anyway, because of that, I can't take pain pills. I can take Tylenol and Advil in moderation. Can't take stool softeners. Can't take even some herbal things from raspberry ketone. Tried that. Can't take holy basil that's supposed to be just all natural to help with a mood stabilizer. Like I said, I was looking for ways to address the depression and the moods without having to take medication. I can't drink wine coolers. I can't because of the sugar that they... Anyway, guys, it could go on and on and on. So looking for solutions for all of these things. And because I can't ingest a lot of the products that other people are able to use, I've had to get a little more creative. And now I'm just at this desperate point. Well, so my sister had told me, my sister Jackie, she is big into wellness and works with Young Living essential oils and is always on the look for things that are just homeopathic. Having one child that's on the autism spectrum and one that has severe allergies. She's had to get very creative herself about what she utilizes in the home and for various things. So she told me about this company that's called Rockee Redd, and they are based out of Utah, and they do these organic products. These are herbal tinctures, but because they're going under my tongue and I'm not having to ingest them and process them through my organs, they seem to be tolerated. So that's reassuring. So I've been using these. You can see we're a third of a dropper every day, and this one I'll use a little bit more of with what they call Libido, which is to address hormone and sensuality support. I'm using it for hormone. Sensuality, I don't even know what that is anymore. I'm going to need a roadmap for that when the day comes. So anyway, that's a whole different conversation. And then Clarity is for memory and mood support. And I have not used these today, but the Clarity you're supposed to use at night. And because it's got valerian in it and skullcap, and I think both of those can cause you to be tired, but I've been using them during the day. I feel like that's when I need it most, is through the course of the day, and I've got off schedule with yesterday not feeling well, and so today has just been kind of weird. This one is new. They just did a small batch on the Clarity. I think that this may be like their second release of this, but it did so well the first round, then they put this out a couple of weeks ago again on their website. And I will say that I have noticed a little bit of difference, but let me back up to say this. when I was talking about my doctor, saying, because we were in addressing this, trying to figure out what we can do, she said, Jen, you would be a really good candidate for medicinal marijuana. Now, keep in mind, I lived in Oklahoma, and they had made medicinal marijuana legal about maybe a year prior, a little over a year. But as an alcohol and drug counselor, I felt like that was a conflict of interest for me to use that, even though I know that the way that I'm wired, I would be using it medicinally. I would have been using it by their recommendations. I still had an issue with it, but then I reached that desperation point of I've got to try something. And so I went and saw my doctor, and he prescribed, well, let me take that back. It's not a prescription, it's a recommendation. He recommended this, and we went over in great detail about what this would look like, how I should use it, if it's the sativa, if it's the indica, what I need to be doing for specific reasons, right? Well, I did it mostly for sleep, because when my head hits the pillow, that's when the ping pong balls or monkey brain engage, and it will go all over the place. I go to sleep fairly easy, but that happens, and it can be a little overwhelming, and then my dreams and it's a vicious cycle, and I'm thinking about all of the things, and then I ruminate because I'm an HSP, highly sensitive person, and an empath and an introvert, that trifecta, that isn't really a beneficial thing, but anyway, monkey brain. It happens, and I know it's going to happen here, so please bear with me. Maybe I should do this right now. I don't know how quickly it kicks in, but I am going to do it while I'm doing this live today, just to show you how I use it. But yes, so when I go to bed, it tends to go over time. And so that's when I would use the medicinal marijuana. And I bought a vape, and I would just do one hit of that, of the hybrid. I didn't want to be stoned. I didn't want to be high. I just wanted that. I wanted everything to stop bouncing around. And so I would take one hit at night, and then I would go to sleep. Within 5 minutes, I was asleep, and I would sleep all night long. And it was a beautiful thing. I woke up rested. There would be that residual in my body through the course of the day, or through the morning. Usually at about 1 o'clock, I'd feel it wane a little bit, and I would start to feel a little more ADD-ish. But I was not going to use it through the course of the day while I was working. I knew that I would use it responsibly, but I didn't want that to ever be an issue. So I just kept it, I used it at night. However, on the weekends when I wasn't at work, I would use gummies and just do a small amount of a gummy, or even one hit on the sativa, which is the headier version, indica being that makes you more sleepy, increases hunger, things like that. Lord knows I did not need that. That was part of the depression issues, is the weight, it was like you start to put on weight, and I didn't need anything that was going to be doing that, but I wasn't experiencing any issues with that. Fast forward a year and a half of utilizing this from a medicinal standpoint, recognizing the benefits, and being able to be more focused, and then moving to North Carolina, where it is not legal, and all of the jobs want to do drug screens, and they're not going to understand I've got a card that says that this was recommended by my doctor and that I use it responsibly. So I needed to be able to do something. So a week ago Thursday, I stopped using any medicinal marijuana. I just stopped. And this came in the mail on Friday. And so I started using this then. So I don't know. I don't know if it's this, or I don't know if maybe the medicinal marijuana was causing a little bit of that hazy headedness that I just wasn't associating with it because I was using it as recommended, right? Sometimes it's hard to know exactly if it's the chicken or the egg. So we're trying this. So I use both. I will tell you straight up, Clarity for the ADD does not taste good. It's got more, so it has passion flower, skullcap, valerian, grain alcohol, which is I think what I'm tasting in it, and it has a little bit of that effervescence kind of in there, like like the bubbles in your soda water, and then remineralized water. And I wish I could taste more passion flower. I don't even know what passion flower tastes like, but it's not my favorite taste. But I mix it with the Libido. And so the Libido, shake this well, and this one is made up of rosebuds, ashwagandha root, cinnamon bark, hibiscus, Greek seed. I've not even heard of that. Vegetable oil, or vegetable glycerin, and remineralized water. You have to forgive me there, my vision. Well, and it's little, to my credit, it is very, very tiny. So anyway, I just take each of these and fill the droppers a third of the way up. Put it under my tongue. And then I mix them. And let them sit for about 15 seconds. I mix them. And then there's that. So, because I happen to have some nuts sitting here, and because that really doesn't taste good, I was going to taste it down. A nut chaser, nothing like it. So that's those. And so it's been about 10 days that I've been using them. And it's hard to know if it's that combination of that and then not using the medicinal marijuana, or if it's just those. But over the course of time, if things continue to stay where they are and picking up a little bit, I find that I do have to use the Clarity every day. That it does make that difference in my focus. So I will continue to post on this and let you know how I feel that it's going. Again, everybody metabolizes things differently. So, and that one, so the Libido says that you can use this, a couple of times a day. This one is supposed to just be used in the evening. Like I said, I use it during the day. And not to be used if you're pregnant or nursing on that one. I don't know if this one came with the same. Keep out of the reach of children is all it says. Oh, do not use if pregnant or breastfeeding. So neither of those. I would talk to your doctor about either of those if you are considering using them in any other way. But so that's what this one was about, is Rockee Redd, Rockee Redd, Redd, Clarity and Libido, and I will put links to those at the bottom. And I will keep you posted as to how these are working out for me. And I prayed over them. I prayed over them that they do the trick, because they are organic, all natural, and I don't have to ingest any other medications that have some pretty significant side effects. I don't like taking medication anyway. I don't like putting anything into my body that isn't natural. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, thank you all for trailing with me on my my journey to arrive at this. Because it is a journey. It's you will find that I will go all the way around the farm just to be able to get back to tell you that I wanted to go water the flowers. Yeah, it's the struggle is real. Hoping this helps. Anyway, thank you all. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.